Hi everyone, and welcome to the channel. Today I've just got a short video for you, and what I wanted to do was show you the gear that I use anytime I'm out catfishing or anytime I'm using live or cut bait. So you can see here I've just got one of these zip up folder pouches. Picked this one up I think at Walmart, and that is what 9 times out of 10 I'm going to have everything I need in there. I'll keep it stocked. If I see I'm running low on something, I run and pick it up. But this has just been a great organizer. If you see my other videos, you've probably seen a backpack in the background. I also wear that backpack anytime that I am fishing. It's got a fish rule in it, it's got my stringer in it, it's got typically some fish grips or lip grippers, just anything else I think to throw in there, hand sanitizer, whatever. But the point of this video is going to be what I keep in here. One of the first things that I'm going to have, you can see it's already got a place for it on top. Always got some pliers. So these are just some I think Shimano brand, just some cheap pliers. They're gonna get wet, they're gonna get rusted up if you don't keep them oiled anyway. So I go through pliers pretty regularly, leave them laying on the rocks somewhere, leave them laying on the bank, forget about them. But got some pliers, they stay right here with the bag in a convenient place where I can grab them. And then if we open up the case, what you'll see is you've got a zipper compartment here, a mesh compartment on the side. Typically all I'm going to keep in that is stuff that I really don't use that often. So you can see here I've got just some small cigar floats. And you know, if you're rigging like a Santee rig where you're trying to keep your bait up off the bottom, sometimes I'll try this. Typically what I've found is these especially aren't really big enough to keep my bait floating. So you know, you might invest in some larger ones or something like that, but I do keep these on hand just in case. You never know when you want to change your rig up, and just try something new. If you're going through everything and you don't have you're not having any luck, you can tie on one of those and see what happens, keeping your bait at different elevations in the water. In this pouch you'll see I've got some catfish rattles, and I have put them on before. Personally, I've not seen that they really have affected my fishing as far as getting more action out of using those rattles, but I do keep them in here. And also I'm getting very low on these. I actually broke off 2 on my last fishing trip, sinker slides. And so I've got a couple of different kinds here. These are just some that I ordered off of Amazon. Slide them on your line, put a bead behind it, tie on a barrel swivel, and then hook a leader below that. Allows your weight to slide freely up and down the line. And then this particular one is from Whisker Seeker Tackle. Clips on it, a little different. You can actually like loop your line over, send it through here, clip it on top, bring it over, clip it here. So a little bit more easy on, easy off. You don't have to cut your whole rig off to get that put where you want it. So I keep all that stuff in here. Again, I've got to get some more sinker slides. And then flip that pouch over. Again, running low on this stuff, but that's because I don't typically tie a lot of sinker slide rigs. So have a place for beads here, and I've gone through a bunch of beads lately, just with various rigs I've been trying out. So getting a little low on those. I suggest you go to a craft store like Hobby Lobby or somewhere like that to get those. Don't order anything fancy, anything special. Honestly, the fish don't care. Aside from that, in the next section here I have some barrel swivels. I usually keep a pretty large size barrel swivel. Sometimes I'll keep 3 ways for rigging different ways, but I do have some barrel swivels here that I use to tie on a leader line or a drop line for my weight, just depending on how I want to rig that day, or if I want to change up how I am rigging. I have that option to do so. They're right here. On the next one, I've also got just your standard, got a couple different sizes here if I can find them. I've got just your standard snap swivels, so a lot of times I will use those to hook my weight on, or tie it in my main line, and the line that has my weight on it, I will just tie a knot in it or a loop in it. I can hook it to this swivel, and then that way if my weight gets hung in a rock or something, typically it'll just pull that swivel loose if I'm really pulling on it. Or use a lighter weight line for your weight, so that the weight can break free and you don't lose your hook in your main rig. But use these various times, fishing different ways. So I've got a place for those in here. And then as we move over, you'll notice I've got a couple of blank pouches here. I laid everything out that I'm going to show you today. This is my #1 go-to catfish hook for where I fish at and the type of fishing that I do, and that is just a 3/0 Circle C hook made by Laser Sharp. Buy these at Walmart, typically buy them, a couple packs at a time. And 3/0 has served me well for almost anything that I'm doing now. You guys that are out trophy fishing, I hear you. I've got some more stuff in the back, trust me. But for eating size catfish, just fishing, below a dam or a creek or under a bridge, the kind of fishing that I'm currently doing or normally doing, that is my go-to, and I keep those on hand a lot. So put those back in the pouch. You see I've got over here, I've got a bunch of loose hooks that have already come out of the pouch. I'm gonna drop those in there as well. These pouches are pretty thick plastic, so that makes them really good for hooks. They're not prone to poke through. And then also right next to that, if I'm in a place where, let's say I start pulling out, a little bit bigger fish, I'm a little concerned about hook size, I will bump up to a 4/0 in that same Laser Sharp Circle C hook. So, if you're wondering, why the Walmart brand? It's a Walmart pouch, it's Walmart pliers, it's Walmart circle hooks. I've caught fish, that's why. It's a cheap way to go, it catches fish, it's productive, and I keep that in there. However, when I'm looking for something a little bit different, or even just want to try a different product, oftentimes, I may tie on a Mustad brand. This is a 4/0, and I will say honestly, this is the only pack of Mustad hooks that I have, that I'm aware of, and I have lost every fish I have ever tried to reel in on one of these. So I don't use them. I'm not knocking Mustad. I know a lot of catfishermen use Mustad exclusively, but I just don't have that kind of luck. And so no matter what everybody else is doing, you pick your tackle and gear that work well for you, and that's what you need to use. Also, you've got the Pro Cat. These are some larger, what size are these? These are 4/0 also, and you can definitely tell a size difference in the Pro Cat circle hooks in a 4/0 versus the 4/0 in the Eagle Claw Laser Sharp. They're both 4/0, but if you look at the difference, I've never actually used these. This is a relatively new pack. It's been in my bag a while. It just looks too aggressive for most of the size fish that I would normally be fishing for, but it's there when I need it, or when I want to do a product review with it. I'll tie it on, see what I can catch with it. So have a place for those there. These would be more of, if I was out of the Eagle Claw stuff, I would tie on one of these next. And then after that, I've got mostly just some assortments of larger hooks. Now when I use these is, sometimes I go over to the river and fish, and I might put on a live bluegill and try to catch a flathead. These are, if I have a really small bluegill, I might try one of these hooks out. Again, you want to match your hook to your bait size. But then I've also back here, I guess the sunlight, I may need to get them out of the pouch for you. I do have some bigger stuff. You can see I've got the Mudville tackle as well, but me personally, I don't know where I would be that this would be necessary unless I was below a spillway in a boat on a river. But for my fishing from the bank at smaller creeks, these are just overkill for anything that I would be fishing for. Moving on for that. Now, most of the time these are not all neat in a pouch. Most of the time I'm putting weights on and off constantly, changing weight to get, as a bank fisherman, cast further out. If there's a lot of current below a spillway or below a dam, I'm gonna really get the weight on to try to anchor my weight to the bottom, or my rig to the bottom, especially if there's a lot of fishermen. You don't want to be casting and then your line drifting over everybody else's line. It's one of the downfalls of bank fishing, but tie on a little bit extra weight, get it to hold place and hold still so the fish can find it. And the biggest risk is it's going to get caught up in some rocks somewhere and break off. But I've got several, most of these are all 1 ounce. I've got some 1 ounce disc weights, some 1 ounce bank weights, and then beyond that, I do have some large ones, and I have actually lost a few of these in my recent fishing. I've even got a 4 ounce here. There have been times below even small spillways on small creeks that a 4 ounce would not find the bottom and hold my stuff, hold my rig in place. So I do keep it. It's not often that I use it, but the key is being prepared for whatever situation you might find yourself in. Here's a 2.5, a couple of 2.5 inches. So for the most part, that's what I keep in my gear bag. You see I've got a no roll in here also. Didn't clean the bag up. I've used this for years, and this is just what it looks like, and it's always in my backpack whenever I plan to do any kind of live or cut bait fishing for catfish specifically, but anything else. That being said, when I happen to be surf fishing, you know, going down to the coast fishing from the surf, and we have a fish on, I don't know if you're expecting that or not, I certainly wasn't. And if he's still there, we've got a fish on. I don't know if he is. He's there. Let's see what we've got. Saddle cat. All right. He could not have picked a better time to get on the line. What you're going to first see, nice eating size catfish. I believe this is a 4. I'm right-handed, so my left hand doesn't want to do this too well. Let me switch hands. I have to get those pliers out. Well, I'll tell you what, my bag's here, my bag's handy. We're going to grab the pliers I was just showing you right here for our footage. Circle hook out. Yeah, I believe that's a 4/0 Circle C. And then at the bottom you can see, here's one of those swivels I was telling you about in my rig. I've got 2 1-ounce disc weights, and that rod just took off. He was on it. So we're going to throw him in the cooler. And then, as I was saying, if you find yourself out surf fishing, which I do occasionally, I usually don't keep this stuff in my bag all the time, but you know, I'll oftentimes run by a local bait shop, you know, when I'm at the beach or whatever. I just happen to have a couple of these number 2 K hooks or Kell hooks, good for redfish, sea trout, and flounder. I will say this, I bought these on clearance at Academy one time for like $1 a pack. That's why I have them. That's been about 4 years ago. I've been surf fishing twice since I bought these hooks. Tied them on a couple of times, didn't do that great. Okay, and then also, so a lot of times I will keep, you know, line in my backpack, an extra spool of line if I need some leader stuff. But or sometimes, you know, you spool your line, you need to re-reel the whole thing or re-spool the whole thing. But this is just some 20-pound mono that I keep for leader line. I actually bought this while surf fishing, just to make sure, you know, I had a little extra protection against larger fish that might come along, a little bit of that stretch that line gives you. So a lot of times I'll just have something like that, or even a small spool of line tossed in the back of here or in my backpack with me when I go out catfishing. If you like this video and want to see more videos like it, or need any other tech tips, or want a product review on something else, or have a question, please hit that subscribe button so you'll see when I post new content. Hit the like button, comment what you want to see, comment what you like, comment what you didn't like. What are your experiences using some of the tackle in here that either I do use or that I said I don't use? Let me know what you think about all that, and we're gonna let you go. We'll catch you on the next cast right here on the J Line.